Hello. Welcome to Live Lunch. We have to just say now, Mark is our least favourite person because literally said, "Oh, we're going to go live." He decided to go. Oh, my internet's just gone funny. It's going. I'm sorry. So it could have been just a lunch à deux for me and Jane. Anyway, we are all here. Mark, you're here whether you like it or not. So Thursday midday, if you're along for the ride, let us know. Drop in the comments. I'm just going to make sure I can see my comments. So if anyone does mention, so we're live on Green Umbrella Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. We're not on Christina's LinkedIn today because, as you can see, she's not with us. She is on a train, stuck. Yeah. Well, not quite stuck, but she was delayed. So hence why she's not here. So I didn't ask, is the reason she's delayed because of snow or bad weather? Have you guys got snow where you are this morning?
Tiny bit.
Yeah, tiny bit, and frost. But she didn't actually say why it was delayed. She just said she was delayed.
But no, I know it has snowed in various areas overnight. So for those who don't know, I live on the south coast, so it very rarely snows unless it's really, really cold and awful weather. So no, a little bit of frost here, but no snow. But so you're not snowed in?
No.
I also realised
working from home, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Exactly. Snow day. Do you remember, years ago, you used to kind of get the snow day and you'd be like, oh, I can't get into work, or the schools were shut. And everyone would kind of have a snow day where you kind of make a half-hearted effort at work, but then everything was closed. So you couldn't really do anything. That's not going to exist anymore. Really?
No excuse now.
We have the infrastructure, don't we, to work from home. So it made me quite sad, actually, because it was always a bit of a good thing, wasn't it? When everyone would be out and kind of playing in the snow. And there you go. So no snow days. Okay, so yeah, Christina's not joining us because she is on her way back from London, I believe.
To London.
To London.
Yeah.
To London, not back from London. So just the three of us today, but this doesn't mean we don't have wisdom to share with everybody on the latest updates in the world of marketing and social media. So there's still plenty going on, despite the fact that we're racing towards Christmas. It feels like only a few weeks to go. You might have noticed Christmas jumpers are being wheeled out now that we're in December.
Only for you. Much for everyone else. And I haven't gone there yet.
Much to everyone else's eye-rolling annoyance. Oh God. Okay, so what's been going on? What have we picked up on? What's happening? Jane, I know you've got a few little bits, so fire away.
So the first one that was quite interesting was LinkedIn Live. So previously, if you wanted to go live on LinkedIn, you had to have at least 150 followers or 150 connections. And you had to apply to LinkedIn to actually be able to go live. So now LinkedIn has a creator mode, and not a lot of people actually know that, but somewhere under your profile is a little button asking if you'd like to switch to creator mode. And I tried it once and it didn't really seem to make a lot of difference. So I've actually switched mine back now. However, if you are in that creator mode, you can now access LinkedIn Live, no matter how many followers you have or anything else. So that's actually a really good thing because, a lot of people haven't been able to do it, whereas now switch that little switch over and everyone can do it. And so just to give you a couple of stats as well, so LinkedIn users are apparently 20 times more likely to share video than any other type of post on LinkedIn. And apparently live videos get 7 times more reactions and 24 times more comments than just videos that you've uploaded. So, if you can go live and you're happy to go live, then you should go live.
That's great. That's from an engagement point of view. I know there's still quite a lot of reticence about people going live, but yeah, with those stats, it's kind of hard to argue against it.
Yeah, definitely. So, give it a try.
Yes.
So another thing I've got on the subject of videos as well. So Instagram is testing longer videos in their stories. So previously, if you uploaded a long video, it got split into little 15-second segments. Now you can upload up to a minute. I say now, it's testing at the moment. Some people have got it, some haven't. Hopefully it will roll out. But the idea is you can upload 60 seconds and it won't be split into little pieces. So I think if you go over the 60 seconds, then it gets split again. But or maybe you can't upload 60 seconds any more than that at all. I'm not sure. But But yeah, that's quite nice because I hate it when those videos get chopped up because there's always a sort of a little bit of what you say that gets lost, isn't there? So
yeah. So this
so
is
the
in
fact that they're not
stories,
doing that.
isn't it?
Yeah, in stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you mean. So if you do, or if you take a video that's like 16 or 17 seconds, you just try and
Yeah.
shave like a little bit off the beginning or the end to make it fit in that 15-second mark.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's a good thing. Hopefully they'll roll that one out to everybody.
Yep.
So another thing that I've seen today was Facebook Creator Studio. Now a lot of people don't actually use Facebook Creator Studio. We do, obviously, at Green Umbrella, but it's always worth a look if you run a business page. And now a new thing they've added to it is this inspiration hub. So apparently you go into Creator Studio, you'll click on the inspiration hub, and it will give you ideas of posts and hashtags that are trending within your business area. So that's a really good way of sort of looking at what your target audience are engaging with that other people are posting to give you some ideas of what to do yourself. So I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I must admit, occasionally with Facebook, I will flip between Creator Studio and Business Suite. Not for that. I feel like there's no kind of logistics or no reason to it. It's whichever app happens to ping up in front of my face first if I'm working on Facebook. But would you say you think there's more functionality in Creator Studio is better? I know it can come down to personal preference, but obviously you do a lot of work on Facebook as well, Jane.
Would you actually believe I don't actually have Business Suite yet?
Okay.
Still, after all these months, I have it on my phone, but because it's on my phone, I don't really use it that often because work-wise it's always on my desktop. But yeah, I don't have it. So
yeah, so this is I was talking phone, so I do for one of the accounts I particularly work on. I'm sometimes on the go with them, or I see something and I think, oh yeah, that would be great to post. So yeah, I'll sort of flit in between Business Suite and Creator Studio, but I like the idea of having inspiration in there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really, really good idea. Because I mean, it's not often that sometimes there's really obvious things to post, but other times, especially if you're a new business or you don't do a lot of social, you don't necessarily know what people are going to like. So actually, having that there, I think it's a really, really good idea. So.
I feel like hashtags are quite inconsistent on Facebook as well. Like you don't, if you're in Instagram, for example, hashtags all day long, and seemingly loads of them. But yeah, you'll get sort of a dozen or more on each post. LinkedIn, we know hashtags, the first 3 are the most important. Twitter hashtags are important. They just, I don't know, they sort of, I see that they're there sometimes on company Facebook posts. Then that now, I'd be really interested to know if there's any kind of research out there that says, yes, you must use it. I don't think I've seen anything definitive. Have you ever?
No, I was going to say conflicts all the time. You'll read one article that says use them and then read another one that says don't. We tend to put 2 or 3 on ours. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of people don't. So I don't think anyone knows the answer.
Yeah. The main thing is I don't think it does any harm.
Yeah.
So you're not, you're not sort of penalising yourself by using hashtags on Facebook. So, and that's the kind of reasoning I use in which case, then yes, like you, I'll probably put 2 or 3 that are the most relevant on a post when I'm putting it out there, from a business point of view, just to make it more searchable.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, so like I said, there's still quite a bit going on in terms of what's happening and what's changing. Anything else?
A little one. It's not very exciting, but TikTok have introduced tipping in their videos and virtual gifts. I mean, I don't actually know anybody who uses. I'm sure people do, but I'm not personally knowing anybody who's ever tried it. But apparently, when you're watching a video, if you really like it, you can tip the person with a tip or a virtual gift. It goes through one of the big payment apps. I can't even think what it's called now. Sorry, but either way, anyway, so they can set up this sort of monetisation, and if you like what they're doing, then you can tip them. But again, it's been there before, but you had to be a selected creator to have it. Now you just have to have 1,000 followers and 1,000 views of your videos. So that's, for anybody who uses TikTok a lot, that's probably not a huge number to get to. So, but again, like I said, I don't know anyone who's used it, but perhaps it's useful for some.
Twitter were doing a similar thing. I don't know if that's still kind of there or was just in beta and in trial, where they were allowing you to, tip or pay to follow certain users, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit cynical about it. I can't see that people would necessarily. The whole point is that it allows you access to these, sort of influencers and celebrities or personalities that you want to follow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a choice thing. You don't have to pay to view. It is a case of if you like it, you can send them a present. Don't know.
We should add that to live lunch.
Yeah. I don't know. What might people send us?
Well, yeah. It's okay, Jane. It's only virtual gifts.
Oh dear. Just picking up on the TikTok point. So I read a few things this week that I thought were worth sharing. So I know we talk about TikTok a lot on here, but that's probably because it is one of the platforms that is, is really seen growth and seems like it's here to stay. Because a lot of the, Clubhouse is almost a bit kind of Clubhouse what now? Considering we talked about it so much in the early part of 2021. It sort of peaked, feels like it's plateaued, whereas TikTok really has stuck around. And apparently they are predicting that it will surpass 1.5 billion users next year. So, still kind of on the up. So if, as a social media marketer, you are thinking, well, where do I spend my time? Where do I spend if I've got ad budget? Social advertising is obviously, again, here to stay. It's a great way of reaching your audience and being super targeted. But I read a really interesting case study that looks at whether you should do your ad spend on Instagram using Instagram Reels or TikTok, which of course are, super, super similar platforms, creating short form content, using it for a video editor. So, so I thought that was quite interesting to do. Now, it is a US based survey, so less kind of relevant to the UK, but the findings I thought were still really useful. So I'm going to read some of them because there is some data in here which I thought I'm not going to remember off the top of my head. So do you want to predict which one you think would give the better return? Or did I tell you before?
You told us. I was going to say I can predict it, but you've already told us.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. Anyone watching, if you want to predict, or you can predict in your head of which one performed better. But I will tell you, I can put a link into the comments as well. So the company that were trying this out, they ran their ads for about a 2-week period at the end of September to the beginning of October, using the same 15-second product video. So there was they tried to keep it as consistent as possible. They had the same ad spend. They had a daily budget of $50 and capped it at just over 1,000, trying to reach age group of 25 to 44-year-olds. So they wanted the demographic to be similar so they could, as much as possible, do a like-for-like comparison. And the results were really interesting. So for TikTok, the reach, so the number of people they reached with the advert, was on TikTok just shy of 200,000. On Instagram Reels, it was just shy of 390,000. So quite a lot more, like noticeably more on Instagram. Impressions wise, it was about 3 times more on Instagram Reels. So you had about 600,000 versus just over 200,000. And ultimately then, so the cost per person reached was just over $5 on TikTok, and it was $2.60 on Instagram. So the cost per person reached was, half on Instagram. Click-through rate was quite low. It was only 0.1%. So not huge, but, that's the whole kind of, should they be looking at a funnel? It was literally just kind of top of the funnel ads. But the cost per click they got through then was $35 on TikTok versus $28 on Instagram. So noticeably different, which I think, even though we kind of bang on about TikTok saying, yes, you really should look out for it, because, and this is my takeaway, it feels like Instagram has that kind of ready-made audience and has been around longer. It performed far better than TikTok because they could just reach more people. Yeah. What do you make of that? I thought that was quite interesting.
I find the demographic choice interesting in the sense that, I don't know whether this is true, but obviously TikTok is a lot younger normally, and actually to do a demographic that goes up to 45 or whatever you said, that seems quite high for anyone on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether I feel like that was slightly skewed, given that there are more people in that age bracket on Instagram in the first place.
Yeah, it was 25 to 45, 25 to 44, sorry. But yes, I would agree, really. That feels like that age group is probably more on Instagram, so there is more opportunity to reach them than there would be on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I suppose if you went younger, they're less likely to buy something from an advert. So I suppose you've got to pick who. So,
Yeah.
But interesting nonetheless.
Mm.
Be interesting actually to see what the same results would be in a year's time, perhaps when TikTok has got even bigger and even more functionality.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, Mark.
Hello.
Being quiet as usual, but what's going on in your world?
Well, no, I was having a read about the Giphy takeover on Facebook, or now Meta, because obviously Facebook purchased Giphy last year. I just had a quick look, because I couldn't remember how much for, and it was $400 million, so not an insignificant amount of money. But they've been told by the Competition and Markets Authority that they've actually got to resell it again, because they're worried about sort of various things. And some of the things I was reading I hadn't even thought about. Obviously, there's some obvious things about restricting access of other social media platforms to GIFs through Giphy. Obviously, everyone loves a GIF, and if Facebook can then set the criteria for Snapchat, TikTok, whatever they're feeding those out to. And also there was a fear about whether Facebook would actually be getting more information from those platforms. So it essentially could be using that information against the other social media platforms in a non-competitive way. So that was another concern that they had. And then the one that I didn't realize is that Giphy in America was actually starting to serve adverts. So they were thinking about the fact that they were seeing that as a competition to Facebook ads in some way. And basically, I think Facebook have probably just almost tried to nip that in the bud. It was only in the US where it was actually active, but they were bringing it to the UK as well and elsewhere. And obviously, once Facebook actually took over, they just ditched that bit. So that was another thing that they actually were trying to, think that was actually a competition problem with advertising as well as just serving the GIFs as well.
Where do the ads come into it? I can't picture how that would work.
I don't know. I suppose it's if you're on the Giphy site itself, maybe.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know, because it wasn't, as I say, it looks like it was only in the US. But I can't. So it's one of them things. If you go on the Giphy site, like we were just talking at the minute, we can't post GIFs in our. I think it's all groups, but our private Facebook group for Green Umbrella, where we usually put sort of rubbish at the end of the day, tell people what we're doing and things in the team. But that isn't working at the minute. So the only way I can do it is actually go onto the Giphy site anyway. But I haven't noticed anything sort of different when I've been on there and searching the things. So yeah, I'm not sure how it was going to work, and whether they were obviously. I suppose it depends who buys it again now, though, because if they've said that Facebook can't buy it, they can't go and then sell it to Twitter or Snapchat or TikTok or someone like that. So it's got to be someone almost independent or smaller that's going to have to buy it now. Otherwise, surely they're going to have the same arguments against any of the sort of tech companies, social media companies. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, really, because obviously, it's I don't know what the traffic is to Giphy, but it must be massive in terms of how many GIFs are used. I'm sure Data Davis could have a look at that at some point. see how many GIFs are posted in a day or something.
I love a GIF. I feel like it says so much more than I could with words. I love a GIF. So you think then it'd be a little bit too much if we had a whip round for us to buy at Green Umbrella?
Well, mate, I don't know. We could have a go. Do a crowdfund.
Yeah. Like Live Lunch, leave us a tip. We'll use
leave
that.
A tip. Our target is around $400 million.
There you go.
Should have that by Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. A couple of weeks time.
100 million episode. Sorted.
So I wonder what that it's difficult to know until it happens, I suppose, what that will mean for general use.
Yeah.
So for businesses or personal use on Facebook, will you still be able to use a GIF on a post or in a reaction?
I would think so, unless Facebook get sort of uppity about it and actually block Giphy if they haven't owned it. You never know then, do you? Because I presume, you know, you just don't know, or they'll build their own system or something, I suppose. Like,
Probably.
yeah, they tried to buy it, couldn't buy it, so that perhaps they will invest in it. But yeah, it's an
Watch this
interesting
space
one.
then.
And the other thing, they were fined. I think it was the same CMA actually fined them again. I didn't see this before I was reading this other article, but fined them last month 70 million for deliberately withholding information about the acquisition as well. So obviously haven't been exactly upfront about some things as well in there as well to get that sort of what they've termed a major breach. So these things, like we said just before we come on, they don't always make the big news type things. And it's like 70 million is quite a lot of money really to be fined for something. But obviously
even for a company of their size, it's not an insignificant amount of money, is it?
Yeah.
It's one of those probably got lost in other news, but it's funny, isn't it? They can almost do no wrong in users' eyes, I think, with Facebook, because obviously they're still the biggest platform in terms of usage, in terms of ad spend. But, there's all sorts of things that go on in the background, but it doesn't really seem to dissuade people from using it.
Yeah. People like to moan about it, but they still don't come off the platform.
Yeah.
They like to moan about it on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what I find the funniest.
But although I think that's, to be fair, I think that's the same with any social platform. So I was speaking to someone the other day who was moaning about adverts in YouTube videos. Well, if you didn't have the adverts in YouTube videos, you wouldn't have the YouTube videos. That's my take on it. Yeah, they're a bit of a pain, but you've only got to wait 5 seconds and skip. So it's people.
Yeah, if not, you'd have to pay, wouldn't you, to access it? So that's the trade-off.
I have to say, I like a targeted ad. I know, again, I think we covered it on a live lunch when it all changed about the Apple update that allowed it to stop tracking cookies so that you didn't get personal ads. I love a personal ad. I feel like it makes my life so much easier. So, because if I'm thinking about, I don't know, going on a holiday or buying Christmas presents, it just presents me with things, and I think, yes, that would be really good for Aunt whoever, or So I mean, I have fallen for it and brought a load of tat sometimes, and thought that wasn't quite what was advertised. But equally, I've made some great discoveries. So yeah.
Although yesterday we were working on a veterinary client, and I was having to search for some stuff to do with that, and then all I got on Instagram was dog adverts and things. So sometimes it doesn't work.
Yes, that's true. When you're doing client work, I agree. You have to kind of go incognito browsing.
Yeah. See, pro tip there.
Yeah. Then if you get caught incognito browsing, that can raise a whole load of other questions.
Yeah.
But yes, if you are doing for client work, because you're right, you can end up getting, so I get a lot of construction stuff targeted to me in ads, more so on LinkedIn, but because that's the sort of, I've got clients in that space, in that recruitment space. So yeah, I hear you, Mark.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only downside. Yeah.
Cool. What else did we have to share? I was looking. So Christina wrote her blog. I think it was last week's blog that came out last Friday. Because it's this time of year that you get an awful lot of blogs that are kind of, what are the predictions for 2022? What are the trends we should look out for? What are the challenges people anticipate they might face? And I've been reading. So HubSpot, they often do that. Articles in a similar vein. So I was reading the HubSpot ones, and I thought, I don't want to share too much about the challenges and trends that we're predicting for 2022, because I know Christina will be doing hers shortly. So I don't want to, steal her thunder. It'd be interesting. We'll have to test her and see if we think she's consistent with what global marketers are saying. But she's very good. She does her 20. So at the beginning of the year, she predicts what's going to happen. And it doesn't just kind of go quietly into the ether. She kind of checks in on herself and says, well, where was I right and where was I wrong? So trends of 2021, she was actually pretty on point. We'll be nice to her since she's not here. I mean, obviously it's a golden opportunity to not be, but we'll be nice to her because she's here. But she was pretty on point with her predictions for what was going to be big in 2021. So, I mean, people can, if they subscribe to the Green Umbrella blog, they can read it. They'll get our newsletters as well. But I'll just pick out a couple that have been a definite yes for this year. She also, well, let me pick on some of the ones. Getting personal. That was, a definite yes. She said people are still a bit shying away from it, but videos, being personal, I think we've probably seen more of that on LinkedIn. And Jane, as you just said, going live on LinkedIn, that's where we get kind of the engagement. So definite tick on that one. She said video strategies will change with an increase in TikTok style content. Again, I think that's a high five. She was right on that one. So TikTok style content, reels basically. So we've talked about it today. We've talked about it kind of on previous live lunches. So just people are kind of doubling up on their efforts on the video platforms. And again, that's, I would say, is probably going to increase next year as well. Let me just pick out one more as well. Oh, one more, and I'm going to pick out the one thing she got wrong as well, just because we can't be too nice, can we? So maintaining an agile marketing presence. So just to elaborate on that, I think what Christina meant was kind of making sure that you're as relevantly as possible, you're kind of everywhere, you're kind of omnipresent basically. So at the beginning of last year, I hadn't really heard of Clubhouse, but Christina was all over it by sort of the end of January, February, to the point where, she has been dubbed by Paul, our regular viewer, as Clubhouse Christina. So wasn't she? She spent all of her time on it earlier this year. But kind of they're maintaining the trends. And we know she's talked about the fact that she did build some useful connections and get some leads out of it as well. And it really helped with her personal brand, but then, by relationship, the Green Umbrella brand as well. Gosh, that was harder to say than I thought it would be. So yeah, definitely a year for kind of agility. People may be kind of switching what they're doing on ad campaigns on Facebook because of Instagram, because of Apple update changes. But I think increasingly that might come back. So yeah, I would say people have a read because she knows her stuff. And look out for the 2022 trends. What did she get wrong? She said we'll get smarter on the use of influencers. But she's kind of picked herself up on that to say we're a bit more aware now of things perhaps not being as they seem. And I think she's kind of pitching this at, high level influencers, not what we would call kind of micro influencers, which are maybe people who are an influencer in a specific sector, like in the recruitment sector. But yeah, she's kind of saying that actually maybe we're a little bit more cynical about influencer users. But on the whole, she did well.
She got a pat on the back.
I thought that was really interesting to read because as I'm starting to, that in the bigger global marketing companies like HubSpots, like the Hootsuites, they will always this time of year do their reflections on what happened in 2021, what are we predicting for 2022. Obviously, we tend to work more with small to medium-sized businesses, which is who tunes in and who listens, works with us. But those crystal ball, Christina, that's how you're going to be.
That's brilliant.
And very good, Paul. Yes, I think she'll quite like that.
CBC, just CBC.
Brilliant.
But yes, so a lot of those trends, they do filter down. It's not just for the big global companies. There's absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be relevant for the small to medium companies. And whilst it can be slower to catch up, things like video content, it's also accessible to everyone, no matter your marketing budget or size of the business. So those are my thoughts for what it's worth as well. There we go. So stay tuned for Christina's 2022 predictions. Any more?
Don't think I have really. A lot of the news is like you said, it's about predictions. So there's a few things that have happened and a few updates, but really everyone's gone into what's happening in 2022 mode, haven't they now? So news is dried
and
up.
I guess now, Mark, from a print and design perspective, if people were wanting things for Christmas, they have now pretty much missed the boat, depending on what it is.
I've got some Christmas cards to do this afternoon. Still time.
Oh,
So
there you go. Okay.
So
Getting quick. One thing I did want to remind people of is that so the official, kind of in inverted commas, Christmas Jumper Day, so the one that Save the Children, who were the original charity behind Christmas Jumper Day, is next Friday. So if people are doing a Christmas Jumper Day for their social media pages, get prepped. It's next Friday, so a week tomorrow. But
every day is Christmas Jumper Day for you.
It is in December. I think we should make them mandatory for next week's live lunch, by the way.
Maybe.
Week after, or the week after that.
Week after that. Will we be on holiday by then?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there we
go.
Well, yeah, no. 23rd, that can be the one.
23rd. Okay, that's for that. Is that close enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just about to think about Christmas by the 23rd.
Well done. I can see that Kim has commented saying that there are Christmas decorations up in the office, which is why you two have abandoned it.
They actually do look really nice. They've done a good job.
I'm sure they do. I know you're not Grinches.
I just added some embellishment with some of Jane's decorations on the top of the tree.
What? Oh, do we need to? Was it rude, Mark?
No, not really.
Oh,
it's just
keep it clean.
Unconventional.
Okay, well, I think we should see a picture of that at some point as well then.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, thank you to those who joined us watching live. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching that too. We will be back as usual on next Thursday, midday. Do we have a guest as yet, or are we?
Not at the minute, unless anyone feels like jumping in which case give us a shout. But right now we don't.
So brilliant. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everyone, and we will see you all next week.
We do a wave. Bye.